Hello, friends. Welcome to the Fresh Trails. Today, we'll be talking about sovereignty. What is it? How does it affect or contribute to my life? Let's explore how we can build a really sturdy inner sanctuary. You know, the kind that has the power to weather absolutely any external storm. Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for building that sturdy inner house. First up, we're defining your sovereign space. Then, navigating external forces, healing mind and emotion, energetic personal responsibility, practical rules of self-governance, and we'll wrap things up with reclaiming your free will. All right, starting with Section 1, defining your sovereign space. To really get a grip on what sovereignty means, I want you to picture your life as a house in a super bustling, close-knit neighborhood. You know exactly the kind of place I'm talking about, right? Where the community is incredibly tight, everyone is basically extended family, and, well, everybody has a very strong opinion on how you should live, what food you should serve when guests pop over, and exactly how to raise your kids. So sovereignty is your unalienable right and ability to govern that inner house of yours. It's about making decisions from your true, authentic self without feeling this constant need for external validation. And what's really fascinating here is that true sovereignty isn't about isolating yourself from your extended family or building some massive concrete wall around your yard. Not at all. It's simply making your choices and communicating them after the fact without feeling like you have to pause and ask for permission first. Now, when we hear the word scarcity, we usually just picture an empty wallet. But scarcity isn't just about a lack of money. It's actually a deep emotional dependence. It's that constant fear of losing approval, always looking outside yourself for signs that you're doing things right. It's giving away your time and energy to please everyone else until your own cupboards are literally bare. Sovereignty, on the flip side, is acting from a place of unshakable inner wholeness. So I really want to ask you, who holds the keys to your peace of mind? Just let that sink in for a second. Do you leave your front door wide open for any passing judgment, idle neighborhood gossip, or heavy street traffic to just wander right into your mental space? Because if your peace depends on the neighborhood's approval, well, you've essentially handed over your keys to strangers. Moving on to Section 2, navigating external forces. Let's see how this whole house concept holds up when we face bigger external forces. Imagine geopolitics, global events, and the wider cosmic ecosystem as these massive, unseen weather patterns. Or think of it like a distant town council making rules that suddenly affect your entire street. When dealing with this collective weather, we have to talk about a profound illusion known as the two powers belief. It's this pervasive idea floating around our collective matrix that external storms, whether they're political, economic, or cosmic, have some inherent power to drain us or forcefully invade our space. But here is the absolutely crucial point. That weight is totally borrowed. We mistakenly hand our power over to them. They literally only have the ability to drain you if you leave your windows wide open and silently consent to the storm. Section 3, healing mind and emotion. Now, what's super interesting about this next part is how we move from that outside weather to the inside of the house to address our own psychological and emotional state. Because once the doors are closed to the storm, what does your interior actually look like? Just notice the chaotic traffic that so often loops inside our heads. A lot of our sheer exhaustion doesn't even come from physical labor. It comes from the mental loops of constantly worrying about what the neighbors will say. It's the comparing mind. When we're constantly measuring our worth against others, checking if we're doing enough or being enough, we end up creating a massive, noisy traffic jam of anxiety right in our own living room. To clear out that traffic jam, we've got to practice deselecting the shoulds. Every single time you tell yourself you should do something just to please an elder, or you should attend that gathering just to avoid guilt, you are swallowing a rule written by someone else whole. Reclaiming your space means dropping the heavy pressure of those social obligations that just do not align with your authentic self. Consider this really profound parable. The mighty oak tree is already entirely folded within the small acorn, simply waiting to open. I love this because it brilliantly illustrates that emotional healing isn't about constantly working to fix yourself or frantically scrambling to add missing pieces to your personality. You are not a broken house in need of a major renovation. You're a perfect seed, just slowly unfolding the perfection you already carry inside. Section 4, energetic personal responsibility. So the main takeaway here is taking full responsibility for our own energetic vibration. It's about personal responsibility, realizing exactly what we're choosing to absorb from the environment and the people around us. Have you ever been heavily criticized by someone and it just completely ruined your day? Well, remember this. Criticism is just pressure finding an exit. When someone throws harsh words or judgment your way, it is very rarely a verdict on your actual worth. It's almost always their own unhealed ancestral pain, their own internal storm, overflowing right onto your front porch. And you know what? You do not have to open the door. Invite it inside and serve it snacks. A truly sovereign person handles these energetic storms with the fierce resilience of bamboo bending in a typhoon. You see the storm, you feel the fierce wind, you might even bend all the way down to the ground, but you absolutely refuse to absorb the shadow or let it break your roots. You acknowledge the heavy weather of other people, sure, but you remain firmly and quietly rooted in your own ground.
Section 5. Practical Rules of Self-Governance.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? Let's look at how we practically govern this inner sanctuary, day to day, in real time, especially when the noise gets loud. I want to introduce a brilliant practical concept called the protocol of consent. Think of it like holding the remote control to a really noisy radio in your house. Step 1, notice the noise. Step 2, withdraw your consent to listen. And step 3, simply change the station. It's that simple. You have the absolute authority to just switch the channel when a fearful thought or someone else's panic starts broadcasting in your mind. And this brings us to a really vital distinction you've got to make: judgment versus discernment. See, judgment is a mechanism of a wounded ego. It's trying to make someone else smaller so you can feel just a little bit bigger. Discernment, however, is simply setting a gentle but incredibly firm boundary at your front gate. It's calmly saying, hey, I love you, but this energy doesn't belong in my house. It's pure protection without any of the poison of superiority.
And finally, Section 6. Reclaiming your free will.
As we approach the end of our explainer today, we really have to address the ultimate source of your power, the very foundation of this entire inner house we've been building, your absolute free will. Your free will is the absolute ruler of your domain. No external force, no unseen town council, no geopolitical matrix can ever install a program of fear or unworthiness in your mind without your ongoing, silent consent. They rely entirely on your habit of just saying yes to the fear. But the very moment you wake up and revoke that permission, the whole illusion just falls apart. Of course, taking back your sovereignty is a gradual journey. Let's walk through this timeline together. For years, we might be stuck in phase 1, absorbing the storm, taking on everyone's opinions and burdens like they're our own. Then we move to phase 2, taking months to learn how to consciously close our energetic windows to all that drama. And finally, we arrive at phase 3, the daily, gentle practice of internal governance, where staying in your peaceful power just becomes second nature. And this beautifully ties into a deep cultural imperative we all know so incredibly well: hospitality. We love to serve others, it's just what we do. But here is the sovereign twist. True generosity, true hospitality only comes from serving from a full cup. It's an overflowing of self-love, rather than just depleting yourself out of heavy obligation until you're quietly resenting your own guests. When you govern your inner house well, you can finally offer the world the purest, most energetic form of care. And what about you? What does it mean to be sovereign? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and send this video to anyone who might need it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.